why are boundaries helpful in relationships?
Okay. And this again has to do with trauma. So it's
Mm,
connected. First of all, trauma, probably the most important effect of trauma is what the trauma says about myself, tells me about myself.
mm,
And this is very counterintuitive because the trauma actually doesn't say anything about me. It's just, something that happened to me. It has to do with luck, with chance, with where I was born, with
mm.
the street I was walking by. But we know that this doesn't function like that.
Right.
Anybody that goes through a traumatic experience blames himself or herself for having experienced that uh,
Mm,
situation. And the person's self esteem automatically goes down. And this will happen in any type of trauma, literally any time, even if someone just hits me on the street. But if it
mhm.
happens with closer people, then the effect is much bigger. And if it
Right.
happens when I was a child, the effect is much bigger. Okay, and there are different reasons. In fact, there's six different reasons that
Mm,
explain why a victim blames himself or herself. But we won't say the reasons. No time for that. Just believe me. But I think everybody can understand how that's the
mm,
effect. So, having lived through traumatic situations, one of the first and main consequences is going to be your self-esteem, your self-concept.
mm,
Okay, and now the boundaries I put to other people have to do with this. If I have a balanced, adult, correct self concept, I can put these correct boundaries because these boundaries plus have to be flexible because we have the need to
mhm,
defend ourselves from other people, from being harmed, but we have this deep need to connect. So
mm,
our boundaries have to have this flexibility. And that's what an adult learns to do through these healthy relationships during childhood.
mm.
So a person that's gone through traumatic experiences probably has not learned how to set these boundaries, but apart from that, has this basic self-esteem problem that makes him or her not put correct boundaries. Either they are too
Mm,
rigid and don't let anyone get close,
mm.
or exactly the opposite in this quest for being loved and being accepted and
So pleasing,
yeah,
like people
exactly.
pleasing.
I can
Mm,
literally not distinguish what's not correct, what's not adequate
mm,
at the relationship, and don't have correct. So this is how it links with trauma. This is where it comes from, and it's essential at the same time to be able to have healthy adult relationships that we just said the
mm,
reason that connects most connected to our mental health, physical health, and happiness. So
mm.
we're not talking about something minor. We're talking about
Right.
probably one of the most important aspects of our lives. And
Mm,
when I don't have when I have this low self esteem and I don't have a capacity for setting healthy boundaries, I'm definitely not going to have healthy adult relationship.
right.
And this is going to sort of recreate and deepen the problem and deepen the traumatic experiences and create this vicious cycle.
Mm,
Escape. And at the same time, probably even if someone healthy comes across, I won't be able to connect with this person. We said before, if I'm looking for this
right.
vertical relationship, someone that's offering me something horizontal is literally too frightening. Or I don't
Mm,
even identify it as love. Probably, I think this is not love.
mhm.
Love is something more possessive or whatever.
Right.
Okay, so this is how it connects, and that's why we have to work a lot with our clients many times initially in the initial stages with
Mm,
boundaries. Uh,
right.
so we stop, traumatic events, maybe lower level traumatic events, but traumatic events to
Mm,
keep on happening in their day to day, in their today. So we many times start from there, helping them
mm,
uh, create these boundaries and create healthy boundaries, flexible, healthy boundaries.
mm. And it's time for a little pop quiz interruption. I'd like you please to guess what is the percentage of people who are watching the content on this channel who have not subscribed? Are you ready? 97.5% have not subscribed. What? This blew my mind. That means only 2.5% of you have subscribed. Please help me change that. This makes a drastic impact on my capacity to continue sharing this educational content at no cost to you. All you have to do is press that subscribe button. If you have, thank you so much. Please continue sharing it with anyone you think can benefit from this. Thank you so much. So it's something that can be learned, even though someone may have spent a lifetime of unhealthy boundaries or pleasing or.
Yeah.
Just connect. Yeah. So,
It's something that was learned,
right.
so it can be relearned. If it
Right.
was learned at an implicit level, we talk about implicit learning when nobody actually intentionally maybe taught us anything, but we learned it anyway.
We
And
learned it anyway. Yeah. Yeah.
implicit learning is the most important part of our learning. So all these relational patterns are completely implicit, but they are
Yeah.
learned patterns, because I learn the patterns according to the culture I grew up in. So
Yeah.
we know that. So it's learned. So as it was learned once, we can decodify them in a way that we have to
Yeah.
decodify them now, and now probably in a more explicit form, learn them and make them implicit again. Make them part of my natural way of function.
Bring a lot of awareness, consciousness to
Yes.
it. Yeah. Hello there, and thank you so much for stopping by this channel. I hope you find this content useful, and if you do, feel free to hit that subscribe button. It will really help me to reach to more people and keep this content going. Here we are journeying together, and let's see where this takes us.